Okay, Travel Support Thursday back again. Yes,
Travel
we're in
Thursday.
the... No, come on. No song. No
The
song.
people are rioting.
Yeah, I can feel them out there. How dare you? So today we're answering one question. And one question only. What's up with all these 1 to 2 hour long videos you guys are making?
We definitely get a lot of that from you. It's not a travel question,
No,
but we'll take it.
And we get all sort. The feedback is all over the place. It's like, we love this longer stuff. Please make more videos, more often, but make them way shorter. Please make them longer. Please don't make videos ever again. We get comments kind of all over.
I'm not
all over
allowed
the board
to look
about
at
this
the
thing.
comments anymore.
And I think it's time to talk about, like, I don't know, kind of how we think about this strategy where we moved from this like 10 to 15 minute video forward to where we are now, where basically every single video that we're making is somewhere between 1 and 2 hours, right?
But I promise you, this is not going to be a 1 to 2 hour video explaining that.
Yes, maybe.
Oh. Well.
Yeah, wow.
One of the first answers I can give you why we make 1 to 2 hour long videos. We're not good at being concise.
No, not even a little bit. It's
See?
I think there's that famous quote of like, I wrote you a long letter.
Oh no.
Oh God. Oh God, look it up. Bail me out here. Bail me out. What is it? It's something like, I didn't have enough time to write you a short letter, so I wrote you a long letter instead.
Mark Twain. I didn't have time to write a short letter, so I wrote a long one instead.
Yes. And I think previously in previous lives back a year ago or whatever, or 2 years ago, that's exactly what we were doing. We felt like we didn't have time to really craft the thing that we were making into something really concise and nice.
Yeah.
So we were just like getting stuff like 60% of the way done and then just like shipping that sucker because we needed to put out another video 2 days later. So,
One of my favorite quotes, or not quotes actually, it's a comment that I saw before I was banned from reading YouTube comments.
yes, not good for your mental health, those YouTube comments are. There's some mean people out there.
Yeah. One of my favorite comments was when someone said, Can't you just like split these up into 4 to 5 episodes? And then I thought, can't you split this up into 4 to 5 episodes?
You can just hit pause, walk away, come back whenever you want, watch it however. And it just goes against like the entire thing that we're trying to do. And I think there were a lot of reasons that we ended up making videos in the way that we're making them now. And I think
they are.
First and foremost is that we just wanted to provide a complete product.
Yeah.
We wanted to provide a complete thing from start to finish.
Yeah, I think we constantly felt like we wanted to add more depth, however you wanted to find depth, but we wanted to add more depth of what it felt like, what a place felt like, what it felt like to meet new people in a certain place. And we wanted to be able to tell stories about a place. And it's really hard to do that when you're basically telling the story of yourself or myself in a place.
Yeah.
And that was
so
the other
many of our
point.
videos were pointed just at us. But in reality, what we wanted to make and what we always wanted to make, but we didn't have the confidence to do it, was showing way more about the world, about the place that we were at, showing as much as we could, trying to make it feel like an immersive experience for the person watching, feeling like they're actually there instead of pointing the camera at our faces like we're doing right now.
Yeah, I think we started to focus more on the place and let the story be about how we traveled through that place.
The second reason is that we were making a lot of videos for a very long time that just didn't feel right. That we're just chasing trends, that we're just, I don't know. I'm sure we'll talk about that more in a bit, but I think that's a really big second reason.
And I think part of the reason is also just like, and this goes along with what you were talking about, pacing. Pacing matters a ton in the YouTube world, the YouTube algorithm, for traveling, and also for us. Yeah. I think when we were making the 12 to 15 minute long episodes 3 times a week, it's a really hard pace to follow.
Yeah.
And props to people who are still doing it. Props to the creators who are still managing with all of this. For us, it just felt like we couldn't keep up sustainably, and we weren't making things that we necessarily felt like we were excited about just to keep up with the pace. So I think it was like a point in our YouTube journey that we decided we're going to say no to that pace, no to that schedule, and figure out what pace works for us.
There's so many other reasons. I think we need to like go back in time a little bit. So quick history lesson of how we got here. So we started off making weird pancake flipping montages as our first video, and then making like DIY gyms out of wood at the beginning. We were just making whatever. We went to every single cheese curd factory in all of Wisconsin. I think that was our first travel vlog that we ever made, was doing that.
Travel in air quotes.
Oh man. Then we switched over to van life again because we saw channels like Even and Beck and a ton of other van life creators just like going really big on YouTube. And also we were really interested in making a van, and it was like a way to travel at the time when travel was a little bit more difficult. And we had a blast building the van. It was so much fun building the van. We were van life creators for all of like 4 months.
Not even, I think.
So
we were van life builders for like a month, and then van lifers for like a month and a half at best.
Yep. So then van broke down, totally exploded on the highway, and then we went over to Mexico, and then this was our first like real travel vlog, I guess. Our first real like international travel vlog, where we started putting these like 10 to 12 minute Karen Nate direct copy videos onto the internet, and we were learning just how to make videos, just literally like how to use editing software. Hey, what kind of music should we put in there?
And the answer is always Tropical House.
Yes, 24/7. It must be Tropical House. And this entire process of us learning how to just go from zero to having a movie exist probably took us 100 of these like videos back to back until we
probably
really felt like
more.
Until we felt like we could consistently make something that was even remotely watchable, was even kind of enjoyable by a stranger. And it was a hard process, and I think had we known how hard it was at the beginning, we would have just never started. We would have just never even opened up shop, but I'm really glad we did.
When I think about those beginning times, I think about them fondly. Like, some of them are really embarrassing to look back at.
Most of them.
But I also look at that time and I think, well, we were just trying things and we were just having a good time. And honestly, it was what kept us happy and motivated and positive during a time where we were all locked down and couldn't do anything. It kept us focused on something, anything, a new hobby. And then when we were traveling, it was a way for us to document our travels, keep in touch with our family and friends, and also hone in on our skills or lack thereof. And just keep, like, it was really nice. I remember when we were traveling, whenever I'd get homesick, I could just like open my laptop and edit a little bit. And that kept me preoccupied, kept me like with purpose. But there was somewhere right around the 1 year mark was when we really started to have like traction.
And we started treating it, I think, a bit like a business and a little bit less like a hobby. And I think that moment was both a blessing and a curse for us, because we started spending all of our waking moments, and I think we're still in this mode of just thinking about YouTube. And it shifted away from like travel being priority number one to all of a sudden YouTube was priority number one by a huge margin. And I think we kind of like lost track of who we were as people.
We came back from our 1 year, what was supposed to be our 1 year honeymoon, super lost, super confused. We like did this thing. We came home. We were like, what now? Do we go back to our jobs? We're starting to make some money on this thing. Do we keep going? But like, how? And so we kept, I remember that was when we went to Longyearbyen, and that's when we did all these like other things in between to try and figure it out. But it wasn't until like we reached the point where we were like, this can't keep going at this pace and this way, that we needed to make a change. And financially, we were just blowing all of our money. Longyearbyen was just like, the journey to Longyearbyen was so fun and one of those dreams. Like, I'm so happy that we went, but it was not an ROI positive experience.
And we were doing it for the wrong reasons. We were doing it for the wrong reasons, and I think we did a lot of stuff during that period for the wrong reasons. Like, we were searching for a format, and we knew in our minds from the beginning that we wanted to be useful. We wanted to be helpful. We wanted to provide information. We wanted to show people how to do this life of travel and
Be realistic about it, but
Yes.
also not too serious about it.
Yeah, exactly. Show that it's fun, but also attainable for almost, not almost anyone, but for way more people than probably think it is.
Yeah.
And we kept like diverging away from that. And I know that we've told this story before, but I think our furthest away moment was I saw on the internet that there were videos about ice cream rolls. Like,
Thailand.
they like freeze a plate and then they take a scraper and they make these kind of ice cream rolls. And they were like doing like 10 million views on these ice cream rolls. And in my head, I'm like, sweet, we're an ice cream roll channel now. This is what we do is we make. So we went to the nearest place in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and just like got all this like buttery, slow motion B-roll up close of this ice cream roll, making it, explaining the whole process. And I felt so dirty the whole time we were making it. Like I knew that it was a stupid idea.
But also in the back of our minds was a little bit of like excitement, like this could be it. Like,
Yeah.
the little two shoulder, one
Yes.
devil, one angel, like the devil's like, this could be it.
Right, I'm
this
so
could be the reason why you become a millionaire on YouTube. And you're like, really?
You're like, this is a stupid ice cream roll video. And I'm so glad
Yeah.
that didn't happen. I think that would have been a massive curse
Yeah.
on us had a video like that or something in that same vein had that gone viral or gone big. I think we would have done the stupidest thing and shifted so far away from our principles that we would have like become unrecognizable from
Yeah.
what we are now. It would have been like, yeah, ice cream roll, and then next time we're going to show how they make dumplings, and then after that we're going to show, and those are cool videos. Those are cool. It's just not that's not what
who
we
are.
want to make. That's
and
not who
why
we
we're
are.
making it is
Yes.
I think that was really the shift for us. Well, I don't think we completely fully realized it. Took us a while, maybe a year after that, but the why has always been really important for us. Like when we started this thing, it was during the pandemic. We didn't really have much to do, but we decided let's try and make YouTube videos, and maybe this will be a thing that we do when we travel. But the only way that we would do this is if our videos were actually helpful to people. We never wanted to be the people that was like traveling so that you could just watch us travel. We wanted to be the people that showed you that you could travel, so that way when you watched us, you're like, okay, I'm going to stop watching and go travel now. We didn't want to like, it probably still happens. We can't change that, but we didn't want to be the people that perpetuated this feeling of just envy or like living vicariously through us. So I think like after that was when I think that was the Camino documentary.
Yeah.
And that was our first real big swing at something completely different, but felt totally us. Hour plus long video about something really, really important to us, but also really challenging, travel related, had heart, had some soul, but also some pieces of laughter,
Yeah. After all of that, we had a bunch of really low moments for us. We felt super lost in this whole process for a really long time, trying to figure out this like balance. We didn't have a home really for a very long time. We were directionless. The videos that we were making just made us both feel sad inside a lot of the time.
We were just tired
We were
too.
tired, we were
Think-
exhausted, and we eventually landed on this format that we're on now, this 3 days in format, and most importantly, this idea of seasons, of having times when we're out filming and having times when we're back here at this home that we now have, and being able to have some delineation between going out there all the time, filming day after day after day after day, making these like constant little small videos that just didn't feel right to us, and finally cutting those things off and making something bigger. Takes longer to come out. I'm sure it's annoying for you guys to have to wait for these videos to come out. Trust me, we feel it too. Less often, but still while maintaining our sanity and while making something that's like useful to someone. That's a complete package. That's real.
Yeah, I definitely think that it was hard for us to make this decision. I think there's this idea that the one way to make it on YouTube is this way. And for travelers and travel creators, it's full-time travel, quit your job, travel the world full time and make videos. I mean, we even made videos about that very topic.
That's the only way to do it. The only
Yeah.
way you can succeed on YouTube. That's what we thought when we started, was
Right.
that was the only path. Just literally bring a camera around with you and just show you the 5 or 6 interesting things we do in a day of travel. And we put this out a couple of times a week. We thought that that was the only way to make it on YouTube. And in reality, there's a ton of ways to make it on YouTube. Infinite.
Yeah.
Infinite numbers of way to make it on YouTube. But for sure, the most effective way to not make it on YouTube is just to copy somebody else's format.
Which is what we were doing for a very, very long
What we were
time.
doing. Oh, I'm so embarrassed by it. God. So
But I think about that time, and I think like we had to go through all of that to get to where we are. We had to. And I'm grateful because without Karen Nate, without the other travel vlog couple like people that travel full time, we never would have known how to even kick this thing off.
yeah, where to even start?
It took a long time for us to get to this point, but I'm so glad that we went through all of that to realize this is how we enjoy this job, this travel, this life, and hopefully we get to make stuff that people enjoy as well. And I don't know, I look back at all the things that we made and I don't feel regret. I mean, there are some things where I'm like, that just shouldn't live on the internet anymore.
Sure.
But
Sure.
those are all part of the things that brought us to this point. I think the thing that I keep thinking about, the word that resonates with me the most in this season that we're in is intentionality. You know, we're trying to be
Agreed.
intentional about the places that we go, what we're filming, what we're making, and how we're living our lives, because I think for a while we were just so reactionary to trends, to YouTube algorithm, to stats.
The world, to how we were feeling,
Yeah.
to the weather, to like anything that we could be reactionary to. We were just like, yep, time to shift the whole strategy towards that one thing.
And this feels just a lot more grounded. We know generally what we want to do and how
Yes.
we want to do things. Asterisk, sometimes we mess up, like with Dubai, we missed the mark there. But that's part of the process, I think.
I think that for us, that's been kind of the magic of this like longer 1 to 2 hours that we're making all these videos, is that as these videos get longer and as we get better at turning bigger ideas or an entire place into one consistent documentary,
Yep.
we actually also have significantly more fun while traveling. Throughout the entire time that we're doing it, we just have a lot more fun. And hopefully you guys out there also think that it's awesome.
And I think it's made all the world of difference for us in our like physical and our mental health, but also in just our joy for filmmaking and our joy for travel. Like I love now, after being at home, working on various things, packing our backpack again and going back out into the world again. It feels like it used to feel, you know?
Yeah, it feels exciting. It feels great. It feels like we can actually make things that we're proud of. I think we're just much more interested in making movies now than we are in making travel vlogs. And I would describe the thing that we make as like maybe a vlogumentary or something. Like it's like a mixture between the two things. And man. So at the end of the day, these longer formats that we're making now, where we're able to provide this like really complete version of something and be able to provide useful information and being able to do it in a way and at a pace that allows us to put out like actual feature-length movie documentaries, whatever the heck we're making now, consistently over and over at a quality that we're both proud of,
Yeah.
is I mean, I think it saved this YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I do genuinely think that we would have quit a year and a half ago now had we not found something that felt as right as this did, because I think the focus at the beginning was so much on just chasing trends, on just seeing like, okay, that did well on YouTube, let's go and do that, and then just doing that over and over and over again. And we were just like gerbils running a little gerbil wheel, just waiting for another little nugget to be dropped down so we could keep running. And that little nugget was like, ooh, ice cream roll videos. We're an ice cream roll channel now. Ooh, cruise videos. Let's go on a cruise. Like all these,
Sometimes I still feel like I'm in a gerbil.
and these moments along the way of seeing like the dissonance between what, like this image that we had in our mind of the thing that we wanted to make, and feeling so unconfident that it was going to do well, so therefore we didn't even bother trying.
Yeah.
And doing that over and over and over again just eventually drove us crazy, because we kept going back to the same idea over and over of like, we need to make this complete package that's probably going to be kind of long, but it's going to explain everything about a destination, very little about us, and a lot more about like what's most useful, what's the most useful thing that we can provide to the user, to provide to the person who's watching this. And we kept having the same idea and ignoring it because we didn't see it doing well on YouTube. And that right there, that thing, this idea that we didn't see reflected on YouTube was actually a hint that that would be the most valuable thing to do and not something to be afraid of, but we just didn't have the confidence or really the skill to make it at the time. What? Oh no. What happened?
I just was thinking about how we started this thing with how we're not concise.
Oh yeah, like an hour ago. Remember that one time when we were like, oh yeah, we're not concise?
Gerbils probably aren't very concise. Yeah. The thought that I had about an hour ago was we don't want it to come across like we're knocking other styles and other ways of doing it. In fact, we had to go through this process to find what works for us. And truly, I wish like this weren't the answer, because I think we've tried the answer of copying people or seeing trends and looking at what was working. But the answer truly is within yourself, you know, like
we knew this from like 2 weeks into doing YouTube. We had this idea then, and we just ignored it because we're like, nobody will watch that.
Our friends, the One Pack Wonders, T and Chaveo, when we were all kind of newbies at this, I remember we were talking about this concept of like being unique and different, standing out on YouTube. And I think they were saying, you know, but like really, truly, the only way to be unique is to be yourself, right? Because there is no copy of Josh. There is no copy of me.
And make something that nobody else is making.
There are some people that look like us, like Patrick Wilson. But there's nobody else that can be as concise as we can be.
Nobody else that can be as to the point as we have been today. Just right on, straight line, exactly from start to finish. No riffraff around there at all.
For any travel creator out there, new or just starting or well-seasoned, I think this is just like to say that we appreciate all of you.
Yeah.
We appreciate how much you have to go through to get to where you are. And we understand the struggle that is making it on YouTube. And we heart you.
Yeah. And I feel like, you know, we're obviously not in any position to give any advice. We are small to medium-sized fish in a big, inconceivably large pond, right? Mm-hmm. But if I had to do one thing differently in this whole YouTube channel, is just to listen to those initial ideas that we had when we were starting it, and to like hold tight to those for as long as we possibly could, and to not ignore those little hints in your head that the whole time were telling us, hey, make these videos longer. Hey, talk more about budget travel. Hey, like be more honest about how this entire process feels. Hey, put more focus on the people out there instead of on the people here. Less about us, more about the viewer, and more about their experience, and more about helping them do the thing that they want to do. And those hints kept coming to us in very like subtle ways every single time we'd make one of these videos. And then finally, oh no. Oh my God. I'm having a serious talk here. I'm having a serious conversation for the 9th time about the same thing.
Go ahead.
This is an important
I just like went in your mind. I was thinking if you could have just added a line there about like pet more kitties, pet more cats in the countries that you're visiting.
You just want me to throw that line in about YouTube strategy? That's our whole YouTube strategy, is pet more cats.
I saw a comment the other day on our channel and it said, sees a cat. Oh, this place is so magical.
That is our entire strategy, honestly. Honestly, a cat makes everything better for us. Okay, so anyway.
I'm sorry, you should finish.
Anyway, I think I would have just paid a lot more attention to those signs that were obvious way earlier than we were even willing to accept them because we were afraid that they weren't going to work. And I would have just done them. I would have done them even if our skill wasn't there, even if we felt like the whole YouTube channel was going to die. Because honestly, it drove us crazy over time to have all these ideas and to have this like clear path forward, but just not be able to follow it because we were just afraid to do it. So anyway, that's enough for this video. We're losing it. We're losing it. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next one. Bye bye.
We have to end it differently. We have to end it differently. And what? No, I think all of that's. No.
I'm gonna do it.
No,
I'm gonna.
That's all. That's all very true. That's all very beautiful and very true. The only thing that I might add to that is, pet more cats.
Bye.